Let's take you live now to the Bridle Path area where police are updating their investigation just outside Drake's home. Let's listen in live.
Pleased to be here today. I know there's a lot of interest in this incident, and I hope you can also appreciate that information is very limited at this time, so I only have so much. What I do know, I will advise you of, and I will take a few questions at the end. This morning at about 2 a.m., police were called to a shooting at the residence behind me here. When officers arrived, they located a male who was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. That male was taken to hospital in serious condition. That person was working, apparently, as a security guard at the residence. He was standing outside of the gates in front of the residence when the shooting occurred. We have individuals who obviously performed the shooting who were seen in a vehicle. I do not have a description of the vehicle or the suspects at this time. Again, it's very early on in the investigation. I cannot speak to a motive at this time because it's so early, but as we get information, we will share it with you. Anyone with information is asked to call 416-808-2510 or Crime Stoppers. You can expect to see an increased presence in this neighborhood for the next little while, but it's no different than any other shooting or firearm discharge. We'll have officers here looking for witnesses to come forward, as well as we canvassing for video. I'll now take a few questions.
Is Drake home and is he cooperating with this investigation?
I cannot confirm if Drake was home at the time the incident occurred, but I can tell you that we are in contact with his team and they are cooperating.
To what extent is the rat beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar part of the investigation focus?
So I am aware of what you're talking about, but it is so early in the investigation that we don't have a motive at this time, and so I cannot comment further on that.
While the motive may not be confirmed, if that is something that you're looking at, knowing that this beef crosses borders into the U.S., is there anything being done in the investigation to maybe prevent a potential suspect from leaving Canada?
So this is no different than any other investigation, okay? Like, it's maybe more high profile because there's more people here, but we treat it like any other incident. So we'll be using all our resources. Our teams will be doing as much as they can to investigate this, but it'll be no different than any other investigation at this time.
The man who was shot still in serious condition. Have you been able to talk to him? Has he not been able to give you a suspect description? And how is there no video yet of the car that fled?
So I can tell you that all I'm going to say about the victim is that he's still in the hospital in serious condition. And I'm not going to just. No, I'm not going to at this time.
This is obviously a very well-to-do neighborhood. There's likely a lot of video around. Have you guys begun your canvassing? Do you expect to get a good amount of video involved with this?
I would be surprised if we didn't. I can say that we've already collected some video evidence which captures the incident.
You said suspects plural. Can you say, are we talking 2, 3, or more?
No idea at this time.
And would you characterize this as a drive-by shooting or more specifically a stop and open fire?
I'm not going to get into specifics about the investigation at this time, just that a vehicle was involved and then fled the scene.
With law enforcement elsewhere, like Los Angeles in the United States?
That will be part of our investigation, but again, we're very early on.
How did the 911 call come in? Who made it?
I don't have that information.
Was this security guard alone, or were there other security guards here too?
I don't have that information.
In the incident,
He don't know nothing. He's not going to say nothing.
Security guard was the target. Were they trying to get past him?
Don't know at this time.
You said you have video capturing the incident?
Yes.
The actual shooting?
Yes.
And you can't give us a description of the vehicle?
Nope, not at this time.
Because you don't want to release it?
No, because we're dealing with video quality issues, correct? So as we have information and we're able to analyze video better, then we'll be able to provide more information.
You mentioned that the shooting occurred outside the gates, but there are markers inside near a garage, and there's an area cordoned off there. Would shell casings have gone that far? Why would that be?
I haven't even walked up to the scene, so I can't comment. Oh, thank you.
And I got the whole thing roped off.
No, that's going to be part of the investigation. Can't comment at this time. Thank you very much.
That concludes today's conference. No problem, I can do that. That concludes today's conference. Thank you for attending. Paul Krufchuk. The spelling is Paul, and the last name.
News investigation. Public interest around this story. Several questions remaining at this time. 2 a.m., that is when police got the call about a shooting just outside the home. That is where they found
why you got them big
a
old
male
gates.
suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital with serious injuries. Toronto police now confirming that that male was working at a security guard outside the home. Police also saying the suspects were seen in a vehicle. They cannot speak to a motive. They cannot confirm if Drake was home at the time as well. Our CB24's Courtney Heels is following the story very closely, and she joins us live from outside Drake's home with the very latest. Courtney.
And Lena, we just heard from police acknowledging there is a lot of interest in this shooting investigation that they're looking into at this time. As you say, still a lot of questions. We don't know if Drake was home. We also don't know the motive. Officers saying they're treating this like any other investigation right now.
So long story short, they're not releasing any information until they can confirm what they think that they know. It looks like they've roped off different portions of the house, and I'm not really sure if that's as a result of bullet holes or anything in the house or evidence that they need to collect, or it may be somebody tried to fire back and tried to get back at them, at whoever it was that fled the scene that ultimately shot the security guard. But here's the bigger issue. And this is what I want to talk about, and I'm going to deep dive into this, and I plan on having a discussion maybe tonight. I don't know. Plan on having a little bit more of a discussion tonight on After Hours is, was J. Cole right? And there's always going to be a lot of people that want to see this feud goes on, because never in history have we seen it just completely stay on wax. Never, ever. That's not what happens in hip hop. That's not what happens with rap music. It never stays on wax. It never just stays here. It always extends and it goes beyond whatever it is that people are saying on the record. And when we first started having this conversation about this beef popping off, and even when I listened to some of Kendrick Lamar's or Drake's lyrics, right? And Kendrick Lamar said, listen, I wish you died. And I'm not saying that Kendrick Lamar has anything to do with this. We don't know. And nor does it matter at this point, because I already predicted that this was going to spill out beyond it. Once they start going to hell with the different lyrics and they start talking about each other's kids and wives and the girls that they slept with and start alleging different allegations about pedos and stuff like that, I said to myself immediately, yep, absolutely J. Cole was correct. And now, whereas, they was going off on him and they was saying a lot of different negative stuff in the beginning, now he's coming out as clean as the white driven snow, as pure as the white driven snow, without a spot, wrinkle, or blemish. And this dude is peacefully living his life without any kind of beef or all of this stuff whatsoever. Which also begs the question about legacy, right? Like, what's the point of it all if somebody actually suffers? And it don't always have to be the artist, because we always want to equate this as just the artist, and we always want to say, well, where they made it out alive. What if somebody else suffers as a result of what happens, or a crew get into it, or it spills out in a beef, or it gets even worse, right? Because we've seen too many times and we've lost too many people. And I don't think that we're going to lose Kendrick Lamar or Drake either. But I know that there's trolls, or there's always going to be people that say, oh, not a big deal, or oh, we know it ain't tied to somebody. It always goes negative. It always goes bad. It always goes south. And this is the thing that we know is going to happen. So I'm going to keep a close eye on it. We're going to have some uncomfortable conversations because I'm curious as to what you guys say, and we'll probably have them on After Hours, and we just going to see what the vibes is. But it's always bad. It always goes bad. It never just stays on record, because you can't control how somebody responds to it, or you can't control the beef. That's just the truth. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I can't wait to see what y'all say in the comments. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.